Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome. I've got a fun card today. I'm using an assortment of products. I'm going to be making a card for St. Patrick's Day. I've got this Plaids paper pad from Recollections. I've got that little confetti is from a local dollar store. I've got a stamp set from Pink and Maine. This is the February Mouse set that's about St. Patrick's Day. And then I'm going to pull out a piece of this paper. And I'm going to make a quick shaker card. And then the little bottles at the top, this little pouch is from Stamps of Life. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the little bottles the bottles are from Joann.com, which is going out of business. Okay, so I need to tell you quickly, I made a mistake on my paper here. It should be about a little less than 4 inches and 5¼ inches. I realized at the end of this video that I had done something wrong and I cut it at 5½ inches. So if you have these pouches or you get them at home, I enjoy them so much. It should be a little less than 4. And when I say a little less, it's not even the next, 1/8. It's just a little smidge less, and then 5¼ So you'll notice, I just wanted to tell you that it looks a little tall on the screen. And so I had to make my card just a tiny bit bigger, but I just wanted to note that I had made a mistake on the measurements. Okay. And I'll put that in the description as well. All right, so I'm just going to pull out so I trim this paper down and it goes into this little pouch if you're not familiar with it. I've used these several times over the last couple years. I've fallen in love with them. I love a shaker card, and I like to make what I would call a traditional shaker card with the foam and all of that. But this from Stamps of Life lets you create the shaker cards very quickly. And you can kind of have a little bit of height, a little bit more height sometimes without really measuring, so to speak. Because, if you have a lot of height in your shaker stuff, the elements, you got to have a lot of height on the foam. So this is kind of a workaround for that. So I've got these little coins here, and I'm just going to take a few minutes here to get my fillings going because I'm just not quite sure what I want to do. I've got all these little pieces here and there. I have these little gold pieces, little fake little nugget things that were so cute. Again, I picked these up at Joann in my local store probably, I'd say a month or so ago. They had a bunch of these. They also had the little shamrocks, and then I think they had some other ones. As we all know, they're going out of business, unfortunately, so I don't know if these would be available in your local store, but you might want to stop by and see what they have. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of filling my pouch here, getting the shake. I'm going to pull out my bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, you need one in crafting. This is probably my most used tool. It's an extension of your hand, basically, letting you get into places that you can't reach. Like when I make boxes, I'm always using my bone folder to kind of press that paper together with the glue. So just can't recommend that tool enough. Any kind of bone folder is a welcome addition to your craft room. Okay. So I've got these shamrocks, and again, I'm going to use that bone folder to kind of break up my fillings here because they're a little too thick, and I want to make sure I've got a lot of shaking going on. And there we go. Everything's kind of where it needs to be. And so I'm pretty happy with the fillings on this one. Okay, and so that's all it is. So you can fill it with sequins or, if you had some thinner buttons, you could use something like that. Just a lot of fun things you can add into a shaker pouch. All right, so I'm going to seal this off, and then I can work on the front of my card. And I have this little mouse, again, that I already stamped and die cut and colored. And then I'm just checking my card base. Again, I had to adjust it just a little bit because I cut my pattern paper a little too large. But it all worked out. So now I'm going to take some of my foam here and start adhering. On a product like this, I would use either foam or a dry adhesive. You could possibly use glue, but I'm not really sure that a liquid adhesive would stick well because this is a non-porous item. Whereas when you're gluing to paper, that paper gets wet from the glue and wets the fibers, and it kind of binds it all together. So I would recommend a dry adhesive here. Okay. So I'm going to trim down a little piece of cardstock and stamp my sentiment, and then I will add that onto my card. This stamp set has the little mouse with the little pot of gold, which is so cute. There's a little hat too, a little kind of St. Patrick's themed hat, and then there are some sentiments. And Also some stamps for the shamrocks, which I did a bunch of them. And I used green apple as the color from Stamps of Life to stamp my little shamrocks. And they don't exactly match the Copic markers I used. I have no idea which green I used. Sorry, I should have written that down. They don't exactly match, but I've got a lot of kind of green going on. So I'm not worried about anything being really matchy-matchy on there. Okay. So now I've got my sentiment. I'm lucky to have a friend like you, and I know exactly who I'm going to give this to. I'm ahead of the game. St. Patrick's Day is getting close, but I'm ahead by going ahead and getting this made. And then I'm going to add some more foam to this one. Okay. And then I'm going to glue down some of the little rainbow pieces, which are really cute. And those, again, are from the confetti. Pick those up at a local dollar store. Okay, so that's where those came from. So I got a little assortment of various items, and I love to do shakers. So I have lots of little bits here, and I love to try and work with things, see if they work. I didn't know if the confetti would work. There's also, in that same package, there's a little set of pot of gold. So I think that would be cute. You could take some of those, at least the rainbow and the pot, and I think you could, pot of gold, I think you could glue a bunch of those to a card front and make a cute card base with that. I may have to try that since I've got a ton of them left. I don't know if the gold coins would work as well, but I could try. All right, and then I am going to use my dry adhesive here. I was just noticing that the little confetti is two-sided, which is really nice. I didn't look at the pot of gold, so I'm not sure if they are two-sided, but the rainbow is, which is nice. They're pretty decent quality, certainly for the price. Okay. All right, so I've got these all ready to glue down, and I'm going to add this at the top because I wanted to add a little bit more to fill my space, but not so much that you don't see the fun little shaker elements, and you can still see those. And then I'm just making my last decision here on which of my shamrocks to use. I went with the larger one because I didn't want it to get lost in the shaker bits behind it, and so I thought that you could still see everything, but that it was a nice addition to the bottom to kind of balance out my scene of this cute little mouse and all his little treasures. Okay, and now I'm going to use some of my runner here. This is a Tombow adhesive. I think it's called Fuse. It's pretty sticky. It's one I use pretty regularly, and I get a pretty good stick. And so I'm just going to run this on the back of my pouch, making sure that I've got good coverage to apply this to my card base. And I'm using a green apple from Stamps of Life cardstock on this to kind of tie that together. And that is going to be it for this quick shaker. I've got everything in the description. If you have any questions about the products, leave me a comment. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.